We got an attempted hostile takeover by Donald Trump of Congress's own library and research arm. And now even the senators who are Republican and MAGA are up in arms talking about equity. I'm like, equity? You mean like diversity, equity, and inclusion? No. Like congressional equity, like respect us, Donald Trump. Don't dismantle us. Don't try to take our library, which we use for research to support our legislative functions. Get your grubby hands off of it. Why Congress, including those in the leadership that are MAGA, and John Thune, the head of the Senate, why they thought that their institution would be immune from Donald Trump's attacks, I have no idea. If you look at his tool bag, it's just a bag of hammers. A bag of sledgehammers. There's nothing else in there. So now, the question now, with this battle that just broke out at the Library of Congress, there was literally a standoff, not armed, at the Library of Congress yesterday between the Department of Justice officials, because that's who Donald Trump is. It appears to be the only department he trusts. The Department of Justice, filled with his former criminal defense lawyers. He's putting one of them, Todd Blanche, who has a day job, supposed to be the number 2 in the Department of Justice as basically the chief operating officer running everything, but he's got time to be the head librarian. What's his background in being a librarian or an educator? So they send Todd Blanche down along with 2 other people to take over the Copyright Office, because the Copyright Office, not patents and trademarks, but copyrights, sits underneath the Library of Congress. So Donald Trump fires everybody, including Carla Hayden, who's the first African-American to head the Library of Congress, an Obama appointee, sends down the Department of Justice. They start knocking on the door, and the acting librarian who took over when his boss was fired, he put his hands up basically and said, until we get further guidance from Congress, who is our boss, we're not letting you in. And we're not recognizing you as the acting head of the library. I'm the acting head of the library. He sent around an email. Robert Newben, he sent around an email to staff saying, we're working with the Congress and we're working with the White House. But in the meantime, I'm still in charge. And so Todd Blanche and his minions, with their tail between their legs, had to go back. Capitol Police were actually called, if you could believe it. They must be loving this post-Jan 6, right? Serving a president, ultimately, for protection purposes, who did not have their back, who freed the 1,600 terrorists and insurrectionists that attacked them and killed their colleagues and maimed other colleagues. They must be thrilled to be called to a standoff between Donald Trump's Department of Justice and the Library of Congress. Now, what does it mean ultimately? Well, it is rallying the troops here. There is already some new bills being proposed primarily by Democrats to do a full-blown investigation into this Library of Congress takeover, while the executive branch tries to cut the fuel line between Congress and its research arm, because that's what the Library of Congress does. I mean, it's a repository. It has lots of legacy materials and things like movies and podcasts and all sorts of amazing things. That's one of the reasons the Copyright Office is in there as well. But it's also primarily a research arm since 1800 for Congress. Donald Trump doesn't have the right to their proprietary research that supports their legislation at all, or try to control it. He can nominate his own person. He just can't force the Department of Justice to become the acting interim without Senate confirmation. And now even the senators are pumping brakes about trying to put the Department of Justice in charge of their Library of Congress. I mean, you got Thune saying, well, we got to have congressional equities, must be respected. In other words, stop treading on our turf. And then you have the Democrats, like Chuck Schumer and others, basically saying this is a full frontal assault on our democracy and it must be stopped. And now you're going to see the lawsuits filed because Donald Trump has violated the separation of powers and we're all worse off for it. I'm so excited to share with you guys an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. C15 is the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years. And get this, studies have confirmed that it's 3 times better, broader, and safer than omega-3. It's pretty simple. Essential nutrients keep our cells healthy, which keeps us healthy. If you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15 works by strengthening our cells, improving our mitochondrial function, and protecting us against damaging free radicals. The result? Better long-term metabolic liver and heart health. It turns out many of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells that make less energy and quit working earlier than they should. All of that makes us age faster, sleep poorly, feel sluggish. Is this sounding familiar? Fatty 15 is a science-backed, award-winning vegan and pure C15 supplement. By replenishing our cells with that essential C15 nutrient, Fatty 15 effectively repairs cells and restores our long-term health. Go science! Fatty 15 is made from a patented, pure, and oxidation-resistant C15 powder derived from plants. It's vegan-friendly, free of flavors, fillers, allergens, or preservatives. C15 is the only ingredient in Fatty 15, 100% pure. C15 works in multiple ways. It repairs age-related damage to cells, protects them from future breakdown, boosts mitochondrial energy output, and activates pathways in the body that help regulate our sleep, mood, and natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. This functionality leads to a myriad of exciting benefits now and as we get older, namely improved metabolic liver and heart health, smoother functioning joints, deeper sleep, and healthier hair and skin and nails. Now that's essential. It comes in a gorgeous, reusable glass bamboo jar, and refill capsules are shipped to your door quarterly in pouches made from recycled materials. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish our C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/legalaf and use code legalaf at checkout. So I'm going to continue to follow it all right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Let's just get down to how we got here. If Congress thought that they were going to be immune from Donald Trump's trying to dismantle them with his bag of sledgehammers, I don't understand. I don't know what they're smoking. He's gone after the judiciary, not successfully, but he's gone after them vehemently and targeted the judges there. He's gone after lawyers and law firms. He's gone after universities. He's gone after academia. He's gone after all other companies who were too woke for Donald Trump and their DEI programs. He's killed the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. He's killed the Public Integrity Unit of the Department of Justice. He's gotten rid of all units of the Department of Justice and the FBI that were responsible for monitoring the Russians and the Chinese, including for cybersecurity. And so why did Congress, why did Thune and why did Speaker of the House Johnson, why did they think they'd be immune? Because they're MAGA? Johnson was so flummoxed by this move that he didn't even give a statement about it. He can't even support it. I'm sure he's working behind the scenes. Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, she pops up and says one of the reasons that she's being removed, that she's out, is that the librarian, Carla Hayden, is out of step with American values, and because she has alarming views on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're talking about the head of the library. She was confirmed, Carolyn, unlike you, by the Senate in 2016, overwhelmingly, like 72 to 18. Bipartisan. She's an educator. She came from the Chicago school system. She was appointed by Obama. She's the first African-American to ever hold the role. And then Carolyn Levitt went further, because this is how they try to win the argument, by punching you in the solar plexus and in the balls and defaming you at the same time. Basically calling the librarian a pedophile or a groomer. She said, well, the books in the children's library are obscene, or they are offensive. She's exposing children. Like, what are you even talking about? Have you ever been to the Library of Congress? You work in Washington. It's not a lending library. You can't go in there and take out a book. There's no children's section. It's for researchers 16 and over. Okay, that's who gets access to the collections of the Library of Congress. What do you think? There's like a little kiddie room in the corner with little tiny tables and little reading lamps for the kids? No. So You want to debate the library, the head librarian for the United States or the head librarian for Congress about what books she's recognizing? I don't think you understand the role of the Library of Congress, but you understand it enough that you want to put the Department of Justice in charge of hijacking the research that goes to Congress. That you figured out. But like I said, we're going to have to see how feckless the Congress, we know it is, but are they going to stand up to Donald Trump or not? He's going after your data. He's going after your independence. He's violating your co-equality as part of the three co-equal branches of government. What are you going to do about it? I know what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to report on it right here on the MeidasTouch Network, over on Legal AF, the YouTube channel, and on our Substack for Legal AF. That's what I'm going to do. And hopefully you're going to follow me in all of those places to help support Legal AF every way that you can. Fast-breaking story. We'll keep an eye on it. Come back here for updates. In the meantime, I'm Michael Popok reporting. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.